Good afternoon,
Yeah.
Dr. James, colleagues, and special invitees. I am Vanessa Skeet. Today, my partner and I are tasked with presenting our findings from our research. As an educator for several years, we have observed that children in mainstream classroom have many disabilities, which leads to challenges when it comes to reading as a result of their difficulties. Children are unable to comprehend, which leads to a reading comprehension issue in schools throughout. Stumbling upon this, my team member and I have decided to investigate the topic, enhancing reading comprehension fluency of pupils with disabilities through collaboration between grade 5 teachers and parents at the West Rhineville Primary School. Before going into our findings, I will give a brief background on the research. Mahadra and Sabat 2016 explain that some learners are unable to decode the words, and as a result of this, comprehension becomes almost impossible. Reading comprehension is defined as the ability to read the text, process it, and understand it. It is an interactive process that occurs before, during, and after a person reads, and it is lauded as one of the pillars of the act of reading. Mahatra and Sabat 2016. Many theories, such as Mahatra, Graham, Frankel, just to name a few, share the same views that reading comprehension is a complex outcome of the process of conducting meaning from print. All these theories regard comprehension as a gold standard in defining reading difficulties. I will now give an explanation or and a comparison of before and in today's world. Inclusive education in Guyana. Inclusive education in Guyana encompasses the practices of establishing wholesome and efficient classrooms that cater for the needs of both mainstreams and disabled learners. In 2006, the United Nations Convention of the Rights of the Persons with Disabilities acknowledged that all children with special needs have equal human rights and freedom and any other child as any other child. As such, the 2014-2018 Education Sector Plan included a draft of a national inclusion policy to assist in drafting learners with various mental and physical disabilities into the mainstream school system. This system has improved from previous years because long ago, once a child was diagnosed or even suspected of having a disability, they were placed at special schools like such as David Rose, School for the Disabled or Handicapped, and the Sophia Special School. But in today's world, we find that because of inclusion, they no longer isolate them. They place them in the mainstream classrooms, right? Hence, our research we have designed our research question to gather information to measure this study. The research question states, what are the most effective strategies for enhancing reading comprehension fluency among grade 5 pupils with disabilities at West Ranville Primary School through collaboration between teachers and parents? I will now hand you over to my colleague who will continue. Over to you, Miss.
Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you very much, Ms. Vanessa. Now, literature review. Reading difficulties can present itself in an areas of manners to students with different disabilities, according to Mahatma S. and Sabat R.J. 2016. Understanding becoming nearly difficult for certain learners since they are unable to decode the words. Therefore, to improve a learner's reading comprehension fluency, every approach should be considered if they are having difficulties in these areas. The value of cooperative collaborations, the useful the usefulness of this article. The usefulness of according to Mahapra and Sabah 2016, understanding becomes nearly difficult for certain learners since they are unable to decode words. Therefore, to improve a learner's reading comprehension fluency, every approach should be considered if they are having difficulties in this area. The value of cooperative collaborations between parents and teachers of grade 5 in enhancing the reading comprehension abilities of students with impairments. The usefulness of this article. Johan Andrews and E. Franklin 2010 explores the effects of parental participation on the reading comprehension performance of students with impairments in grade 5. It looks at how parents may help their children read more at home, interact better with their schools, and provide a welcoming environment for their children to read within. Therefore, the studies demonstrate the link between enhanced involvement by parents and better reading competence in students with impairments. Using data from questionnaires and conversations with parents and teachers of grade 5 students, the following pieces offer suggestions for working together to improve reading comprehension for students who may have disabilities. Our focus group. Analyzing qualitative data gathered from the focus group talks in order to find recruiting teams, patterns, and insights that can guide the creation of cooperative techniques to improve the fluency of reading comprehension in pupils who have disabilities. In summary, focus discussions effective mean learning more about the opportunities and challenges that participants face when it comes to improving the ability to read fluently of pupils with disabilities. Through working together, they can also be used to inform collaborative efforts that aim to improve conclusions of these students. Now, identifying the issues and present practices. For our questions, we have three questions, which is difference between reading and comprehension attitudes of pupils Whose parents and teachers collaborate and who parents do not? 2. How can collaboration efforts between teachers and parents be sustained over a time to maintain and enhance the gain in reading comprehension fluency achieved by pupils? And thirdly, what challenges do you encounter when teaching pupils with disabilities to read and comprehend effectively? Now, on this chart shown here, it is showing a pre survey and a post survey. It is showing that we have 10 participants in the blue for those persons who were not exposed to the importance of the collaboration between parents and teachers. After being exposed, the orange bar is showing us that persons would have gained knowledge from the discussion. Justification for focus group. First of all, we have 10 participants from different background, educational background, gender, martial status, and age. Some of the persons who have been from different educational background will be persons like our head teacher, senior mistress, senior master, parents who are farmers, cleaners, guards, and even retired HM. In order for our the justification our focus group, it has shown that improved student support, exchanging of ideas between teachers and parents, better educational outcomes. What are the recommendations coming out of this focus group? In order to improve reading comprehension and fluency, research indicates that parent involvement and a healthy classroom environment is or are critical. This means that collaboration between teachers and parents is very crucial. Furthermore, integrating assistive technology tools can help students with learning disabilities. It is also been demonstrated that a combination of strategy training and direct instruction. I now hand you over back to my colleague, Ms. Vanessa.
Thank you, Ms. Varshni. I will now continue with the presentation. Now I will discuss the method in which we come up with our findings. The area of study chosen was West Ranville Primary, which provides a glimpse into Guyana's overall education situation. As this school tries to bring inclusion into the classroom and help the students with disability, but they face a lot of unique difficulties. I can attest to that. The researchers use students, teachers, and parents as the population. This quantitative study assisted used in finding numerical data for this study. Pre and post tests and focus groups were instruments used to gather the data. I will go on to give our analysis.